The alarm screamed through the small shuttle. Red lights flashed everywhere. Yuna grabbed the control stick with both hands and pulled hard. The ship did not listen. It kept falling toward the green moon below. "Come on. Come on," she whispered through her teeth. She was alone. The rest of her team was on the main ship. Far away now. This was supposed to be a simple scouting mission. Fly down. Take some readings. Fly back. Easy work. But something hit her shuttle. Maybe space rocks. Maybe something else. She did not know. All she knew was that her engine was dead and the ground was coming fast. Yuna pressed every button she could reach. She tried to restart the engine. Nothing. She tried the backup systems. Nothing. The shuttle was just a metal box falling from the sky now. Trees appeared below her. Tall trees with purple leaves. A forest that went on forever. No flat ground anywhere. No safe place to land. She pulled the emergency lever. The shuttle's nose lifted a little. Not much, but enough. Maybe she would not die today. The first tree hit the bottom of the shuttle. The sound was terrible. Metal screaming against wood. Yuna's body slammed against her seat straps. Another tree. Another hit. The shuttle spun. She saw sky. Then ground. Then sky again. Then everything went black. When Yuna opened her eyes, she did not know where she was. Her head hurt. Her left arm hurt more. She looked down and saw blood on her sleeve. Not too much blood. She would live. The shuttle was broken around her. The front window was gone. Pieces of metal and glass covered everything. Smoke rose from somewhere behind her seat. She needed to get out. Yuna tried to move. Pain shot through her body. She screamed but did not stop. With shaking hands, she opened her seat straps. She fell forward onto the broken control panel. More pain. She did not care. She crawled toward the missing window. Outside, the forest was quiet. Strange birds made sounds she had never heard before. The air smelled sweet. Like flowers. But also wrong somehow. Alien. Everything here was alien. She pulled herself out of the shuttle and fell onto soft ground. Purple leaves cushioned her fall. She lay there for a long time, breathing hard. Looking up at the sky through the tall trees, 2 suns hung above her, one yellow, one orange. They were setting now, painting the sky in colors she had no names for. "Okay," she said to herself. "Okay. You are alive. Stay alive." Yuna was a soldier. She had training for this. Step 1. Check your injuries. Her left arm had a deep cut, but the bone was not broken. Her ribs hurt when she breathed. Maybe cracked. Her legs worked. Her head was clear enough. She could survive this. Step 2. Find shelter. Night was coming. She did not know what lived in this forest after dark. She did not want to find out while lying on the ground like easy food. She stood up slowly. The world spun for a moment, then became steady. She looked around. The shuttle was useless now. Just smoking metal. But maybe she could find something inside. She climbed back in and searched through the broken pieces. She found a medical kit. Good. A thermal blanket. Good. An emergency food pack with enough meals for 5 days. Good. A small knife. A light stick. A broken communicator that made sad clicking sounds when she tried to use it. Not good. But she took it anyway. Maybe she could fix it later. With these things in a bag over her shoulder, Yuna walked into the forest. She needed to find shelter before the suns went down completely. The trees here were massive. Their trunks were wider than her shuttle had been. Their roots rose from the ground like walls. Between some roots, she saw dark spaces. Caves made by nature, small, but big enough for one person. She checked 3 of these spaces before she found one that felt safe. It was dry inside. The opening was small enough to defend. The ground was covered with soft, dead leaves. It would do. Yuna crawled inside and sat with her back against the inner wall. She opened the medical kit and cleaned her arm wound. The medicine stung badly. She wrapped the cut with white bandages. Then she ate half of one food pack. She needed to save the rest. The suns were almost gone now. The forest grew dark. Strange sounds started outside. Clicks and howls and something that sounded almost like singing. Yuna held her knife tight and tried not to be afraid. Then she heard something else. Something close. A small sound, like crying. She turned on her light stick and pointed it toward the back of the small cave. She had not looked there carefully before. Now she saw that the cave went deeper than she thought. And in that deeper part, two golden eyes looked back at her. Yuna's heart stopped for a moment. Then she saw what owned those eyes. It was small. Very small. Covered in soft gray fur. It had 4 legs and a round face and ears that were too big for its head. It looked like something between a cat and a bear from Earth. A baby animal. A cub. The cub was shaking. Its golden eyes were wet. Behind it, Yuna saw a larger shape. Another animal of the same kind, but bigger. An adult. The mother. Probably. But the mother was not moving. The mother was cold and still. Dead. Yuna understood now. This cub was alone. Its mother had died. Maybe from sickness. Maybe from injury. The cub had stayed with the body, waiting for its mother to wake up. But she never would. "Oh no," Yuna whispered. "Oh, little one." The cub made a sound. A high, sad sound. It pressed itself against its dead mother and shook harder. Yuna knew the rules. She knew what she was supposed to do. Do not touch alien life. Do not interfere with alien ecosystems. Leave everything as you find it. These were the laws of space exploration. She had followed them her whole career. But looking at this tiny, scared, alone creature, she could not follow them now. She put down her knife. She moved slowly, carefully, toward the cub. It watched her with those big golden eyes. It did not run. Maybe it was too scared to run. Maybe it was too tired. Maybe it somehow knew she meant no harm. Yuna took out her thermal blanket. She wrapped it around the shaking cub. The fabric was warm, heated by her own body from carrying it. The cub stopped shaking a little. "It is okay," she said softly. "I am here. You are not alone anymore." The cub made another sound. Softer this time. It pushed its small head against her hand. Its fur was so soft. Like clouds might feel. If clouds could be touched. Yuna did not know if she would survive this moon. She did not know if anyone would find her. She did not know what tomorrow would bring, but tonight, she was not alone. And neither was this little creature. She held the cub close and watched the darkness outside. 2 broken souls in a cave on an alien world. Both lost. Both afraid. But together now. That was how it began. Days passed on the forest moon. Yuna counted them by watching the 2 suns rise and fall. 1 day. 2 days, 5 days, 10 days. She learned many things in those days. She learned that the purple fruits on the short trees were safe to eat. They tasted like sweet water. She learned that the blue fruits on the tall trees made her stomach sick for hours. She never ate those again. She learned that small animals lived in holes under the big tree roots. They were easy to catch if she was patient. Their meat tasted strange, but gave her strength. She learned that rain came every 3rd day on this moon. Heavy rain that lasted for hours. She learned to collect this water in large leaves shaped like bowls. She learned to stay inside the cave during storms because lightning here was different. It came from the ground, not the sky. Most of all, she learned about the cub. She named it Bomb. In her language, this meant spring, new beginnings, hope after cold times. The cub did not know this name at first. But after many days of hearing it, Bomb started to turn its head when Yuna spoke the word. Bomb was weak at first. The cub had been alone with its dead mother for a long time before Yuna found it. Maybe 2 days. Maybe more. It had not eaten. It had not drunk water. It was almost ready to die when Yuna wrapped it in her blanket. But Bomb was also strong. stronger than Yuna expected. The cub drank water from her hands. It ate small pieces of the purple fruit she chewed soft for it. Day by day, the light came back to those golden eyes. Day by day, the cub grew stronger. On the 5th day, Bomb stood up and walked, for the first time since Yuna found it. Shaky little steps on 4 small paws. Yuna clapped her hands and laughed. She had not laughed since before the crash. The sound surprised her. "Good job, Bomb," she said. "Good job, little one." Bomb made a sound back at her, a happy sound. The cub's small tail, which Yuna had not noticed before, wagged back and forth. By the 10th day, Bomb was running. The cub chased flying insects through the forest while Yuna looked for food. It jumped over roots and rolled in piles of purple leaves. It was a baby, after all, and babies needed to play. Yuna found herself smiling more. She talked to Bomb constantly, even though the cub could not understand her words. She told Bomb about Earth, about blue skies and green grass and oceans so big you could not see the other side. She told Bomb about her life, about growing up in a small city, about joining the space fleet, about the stars she had visited. She told Bomb about her family. This was harder. "I had a mother too," she said one evening, sitting outside the cave while Bomb played nearby. "She died when I was young. Younger than you, I think. I do not remember her face anymore, just her voice. She used to sing to me." Bomb stopped playing. The cub walked over and sat beside her. Those golden eyes looked up at her face, like Bomb was listening. Really listening. "I know how it feels," Yuna continued. "To lose your mother. To be alone. It hurts in a way that never fully goes away. But you learn to carry it. You learn to keep walking." Bomb pushed its head against her leg, a comforting gesture. Yuna put her hand on the cub's soft fur. "We will be okay," she said. "Both of us." Weeks passed. Yuna stopped counting days. Time moved differently here. Slower. The forest became home in a way she never expected. She moved them to a better cave, higher on a hill. From here, she could see more of the forest. She could see the clearing where her broken shuttle still sat, now covered in growing vines. She watched the sky every day, hoping to see a ship. None came. Her communicator was still broken. She worked on it every night by the light of a small fire. She had learned to make fire using 2 special stones from a nearby stream. The sparks they made were enough to light dry leaves. From dry leaves, she built flames. The fire kept them warm. It kept the night creatures away. Bomb grew bigger. The cub that once fit in her 2 hands now came up to her knee. Bomb's gray fur became thicker, with patches of silver that caught the light. The cub's ears were still too big for its head, but Yuna thought this was beautiful. Everything about Bomb was beautiful to her now. They developed routines. Every morning, they left the cave together. Yuna carried a bag made from shuttle fabric. Bomb walked beside her, sometimes running ahead to explore. They searched for food together. Yuna picked fruits and dug for roots. Bomb learned to catch small animals with quick paws. In the afternoons, they rested during the hottest hours. Yuna often fell asleep with Bomb curled against her stomach. The cub's heartbeat was fast, faster than a human heart. But somehow it helped Yuna sleep. The sound was company, proof that she was not alone. In the evenings, Yuna worked on her communicator. Bomb watched with curious eyes. Sometimes the cub tried to help by pushing pieces with its nose. This never actually helped. But Yuna did not mind. She started teaching Bomb simple things. Come. Stay. No. Good. The cub learned fast. Faster than any Earth animal could learn. This surprised Yuna. Maybe Bomb's species was smarter than Earth animals. Maybe they were almost as smart as humans. She did not know. She had no information about this world or its creatures, but she knew Bomb understood more than simple commands. She knew because of the way Bomb looked at her when she was sad. The way Bomb brought her small gifts. Pretty stones. Unusual leaves when she seemed tired. the way Bomb pressed close during storms, not just for comfort, but to give comfort. One night, Yuna sat outside the cave, looking up at unfamiliar stars. She thought about her ship, her crew, her life before the crash. It all felt so far away now. Like a dream she once had. Bomb came and sat beside her. The cub looked up at the stars too. "Do you miss your mother?" Yuna asked. Bomb made a soft sound. A sad sound. "I miss my people too," Yuna said. "My friends on the ship. I wonder if they think I am dead. I wonder if they are looking for me." She looked at the sky harder, as if she could make a ship appear just by wanting it enough. "But if they come..." She did not finish the sentence. If they came, what would happen to Bomb? She could not take the cub with her, against all rules, against all laws. They would make her leave Bomb here, alone again. Or worse, they would take Bomb for study. Put the cub in a cage. Run tests. Yuna felt something cold in her chest at this thought. "Maybe they will not come," she said quietly. "Maybe we will stay here forever. Just us." Part of her knew this was wrong to hope for. She should want to be rescued. She should want to go home. But home felt less real every day. This forest, this cave, this cub beside her, this felt real now. Bomb made another sound. A questioning sound. The cub was looking at the sky still. At one particular part of the sky, Yuna looked too. She saw nothing at first. Then she saw it. A light. Moving against the stars. Too steady to be a shooting star. Too fast to be a planet. A ship. Yuna's heart began to beat very fast. She stood up. The light moved across the sky. Getting closer. It was searching. Looking for something. Looking for her. She should make a signal. She should light a fire. She should do something to show them where she was. But she did not move. She looked down at Bomb. The cub was looking up at her now. Those golden eyes were worried. Bomb could feel her fear. Somehow, Bomb always knew what she was feeling. "They found me," Yuna whispered. The light in the sky began to descend toward the forest. Bomb pressed against her legs. The cub was shaking again, like on that first night. The cub could feel that something was about to change. Yuna bent down and held Bomb close. "I will not let them take you," she promised. "I will not leave you alone." She meant it. She meant it more than she had ever meant anything. But watching the ship come down through the trees, she wondered if she could keep that promise. The ship landed in the clearing where Yuna's broken shuttle still lay. Bright lights cut through the darkness. The sound of engines scared all the night creatures into silence. Then the engines stopped, and the forest held its breath. Yuna watched from behind a large tree. Bomb was hidden in the bag against her chest, covered by her torn jacket. She had told the cub to stay quiet. Somehow, Bomb understood. Not a sound came from under the jacket. A door opened on the side of the ship. Light poured out. Figures appeared in the light. Human figures. Yuna felt her heart jump. Her people. After all this time, her people had come. "Lieutenant Yuna," a voice called out. A man's voice, strong and commanding. "Lieutenant Yuna, are you here? We tracked your shuttle's emergency signal. We know you survived the crash." Yuna closed her eyes. The signal. Her broken communicator must have been sending a weak signal all this time. She never knew. Part of her wanted to run out of the shadows, to fall into the arms of her people, to be safe again, to eat real food and sleep in a real bed and talk to other humans who could answer back. But she stayed hidden. Because of the small heartbeat she could feel against her chest. "Search the area," the man's voice commanded. Lights began to move through the forest. Soldiers with flashlights, spreading out in all directions. They would find her. She could not hide forever. She was not even sure she wanted to hide forever. Yuna made a decision. She stepped out from behind the tree. "I am here," she called out. All the lights turned toward her. For a moment, no one moved. Then the man who had been giving orders walked toward her. As he got closer, she could see his face. Strong jaw. dark eyes, silver marks on his uniform that showed his rank. Commander Tejo. She knew him. They had worked together before. Years ago. He was a good man. A fair man. But he was also a man who followed rules. Lieutenant Yuna, he said, stopping in front of her. His voice was softer now. Relieved. You are alive. We thought. After 3 months. With no contact. 3 months? Yuna repeated. Had it really been that long? Time had moved so strangely on this moon. We never stopped looking, Tejo said. Your emergency signal was weak. It took us a long time to find the source. But we found you. He smiled. A real smile, full of warmth. You look good for someone who survived alone on an alien world for 3 months. I was not alone, Yuna said before she could stop herself. Tejo's smile faded. His eyes became sharp. Professional. What do you mean? Yuna did not answer. But Bomb answered for her. A small sound came from under her jacket. A sleepy sound. The cub was waking up. Tejo looked at the moving shape under her jacket. His hand moved toward his weapon. Wait, Yuna said quickly. It is not dangerous. It is just... She opened her jacket. Bomb's golden eyes looked out at all the lights and people. The cub pressed closer to Yuna's chest. It is just a baby, Yuna finished. Tejo stared at the cub. His face went through many expressions. Surprise. Confusion. Concern. Finally, it settled on something cold. Something official. An alien creature, he said, from an uncontacted species. Its mother was dead when I found it. It would have died too. I could not just... Protocol 724, Tejo interrupted. No interference with alien ecosystems. No contact with uncontacted species. No removal of alien organisms from their native environments. He recited the rules like reading from a book. You know these protocols, Lieutenant. I know them, Yuna said. Her voice was steady. I chose to break them. The soldiers around them shifted. Some looked uncomfortable. Some looked at the cub with curious eyes. None of them spoke. Tejo was quiet for a long moment. He looked at Yuna. He looked at Bomb. The cub looked back at him with those big golden eyes. Afraid. But trusting. Trusting Yuna to keep it safe. You will have to leave it here, Tejo said finally. You know this. It belongs to this world. It has no one here, Yuna said. Its mother is dead. I found no others of its kind in 3 months. Maybe there are others somewhere. But I do not know where. If I leave it here, it will die. That is nature, Tejo said. Animals die. It is sad, but it is not our place to interfere. Yuna felt anger rise in her chest. Hot and bright. She had not felt anger like this in a long time. Not our place, she repeated. I crashed on this moon because of our exploration. Our ships fly through this creature's sky. Our technology disrupts this world. We interfere just by existing here, but we draw the line at saving one small life? Tejo's expression did not change. But something flickered in his eyes. Doubt, maybe. Or understanding. The rules exist for good reasons, he said, but his voice was less certain now. I know why the rules exist, Yuna said. To protect alien life from us. To protect us from alien diseases and dangers. To keep first contact clean and careful. I understand all of this. She put her hand on Bomb's head. The cub leaned into her touch. But sometimes rules need to bend. Sometimes being human means caring more about one small life than about protocols. A female soldier stepped forward. Young, with kind eyes. Commander, she said carefully. Maybe we could at least bring the creature back for study. The xenobiology team would... No, Yuna said sharply. Not for study, not for tests. Bomb is not a specimen. Bomb? Tejo raised an eyebrow. That is its name. Bomb. Another silence. The forest seemed to be listening. Even the wind had stopped. Tejo sighed. He rubbed his face with one hand. He looked tired. Suddenly. like a man carrying heavy weights. "Lieutenant, I cannot let you bring an alien creature onto my ship. You know, I cannot. Command would have my rank. There would be hearings, investigations. Both of us would face punishment. Then leave me here," Yuna said. The words surprised everyone, including Yuna herself. But once she said them, she knew she meant them. "What?" Teho stared at her. "Leave me here. Tell them you never found me. Tell them the signal was wrong. The shuttle was empty. I must have died in the crash. Go back without me. You cannot be serious." "I am serious." Yuna looked at Bomb. The cub looked back at her. So much trust in those golden eyes. "I will not abandon this creature. I made a promise. Humans keep their promises. That is what makes us human. Yuna." Teho used her name without her rank. His voice was almost pleading. "Think about what you are saying. You would give up everything? Your career? Your home? Your entire life? For an animal?" Yuna smiled. A sad smile, but a real one. "For 3 months, this animal was my everything. My family. My reason to wake up each morning. My hope in the darkest nights." She lifted Bomb from her jacket and held the cub in her arms. Bomb looked at all the humans around them, then looked back at Yuna. The cub reached up one small paw and touched her face. "Bomb is not just an animal to me. Bomb is my child." The young female soldier wiped something from her eye. Several others looked away, unable to watch. Teho stood very still. His jaw was tight. His hands were fists at his sides. He was fighting something inside himself. Rules against feelings. Duty against heart. "Commander," the young soldier spoke again. What if we did not officially know about the creature? What if Lieutenant Yuna's bag was never opened? What if we just did not see?" Other soldiers nodded. Small nods. Careful nods. They wanted to help. They were human too. After all, Teho looked at his crew. He looked at Yuna. He looked at the small creature in her arms. Then he closed his eyes. "Get on the ship," he said quietly, "before I change my mind, and keep that bag closed until we reach the station." Yuna felt tears on her face. She had not cried in 3 months. Now she could not stop. "Thank you," she whispered. "Do not thank me yet," Teho said. His voice was rough. "When we reach the station, you will face questions. Many questions. I cannot protect you from all of them." "I know," Yuna said. She held Bomb closer. "But we will face them together." She walked toward the ship. The soldiers made a path for her. Some of them smiled at her. Small, secret smiles. The young female soldier whispered, "Good luck." Yuna needed it. She needed all the luck she could get. Because this was not the end. This was just the beginning of a much harder fight. The space station was cold. Cold walls. Cold floors. Cold lights that buzzed above Yuna's head. She had forgotten what artificial light felt like. After 3 months of 2 suns, these white lights hurt her eyes. They put her in a small room to wait. A holding room, they called it. But Yuna knew what it really was. A cell. A place for people who had broken rules. They took Bomb away from her. That was the worst part. Worse than the cold room. Worse than the hard chair. Worse than the guards outside her door. When they took Bomb, the cub screamed. Not a normal animal sound. A scream that sounded almost like words. Almost like, "No, no, no." Yuna screamed too. She fought. 3 soldiers had to hold her back while 2 others carried Bomb away in a metal cage. The cub's golden eyes found her face. The cub reached through the cage bars toward her. "I will find you," Yuna shouted. "I will come back for you, Bomb. I promise." Then the door closed, and she was alone. Days passed. She did not know how many. They brought her food, but she barely ate. They let her sleep, but she barely slept. All she could think about was Bomb. Where was the cub? Was Bomb scared? Was anyone being kind? Finally, they came for her. 4 soldiers walked her through long hallways. People stopped and stared as she passed. She heard whispers. That's her. The one who brought back the alien. Some faces showed anger. Some showed curiosity. A few showed something like respect. They brought her to a large room. A tribunal room. At the front, 3 people sat behind a high table. Judges. They would decide her future. Yuna recognized one of them. Admiral Junho. An old man with white hair and sharp eyes. He had been a hero once. Long ago. He had made first contact with the Durrani people, one of humanity's greatest allies. Now he sat in judgment of others. The second judge was a woman, Dr. Mireille, according to the nameplate in front of her. A xenobiologist. An expert on alien life. She looked at Yuna like Yuna was something to study, something to understand. The third judge was younger. Colonel Haniel. Yuna did not know him. His face showed nothing. No anger. No sympathy. Just cold attention. Lieutenant Yuna. Admiral Junho began. His voice filled the room. You are here to answer for violations of Protocol 724. Interference with an alien ecosystem. Contact with an uncontacted species. Removal of an alien organism from its native environment. He paused. How do you respond to these charges? Yuna stood straight. She looked at the 3 judges directly. I am guilty of all charges, she said. And I would do it again. Whispers erupted around the room. The Admiral raised his hand, and silence returned. You would do it again, he repeated slowly. Even knowing the punishment could include discharge from service? Prison time? The end of your career? Yes. Dr. Murray leaned forward. Lieutenant, do you understand why these protocols exist? Contact with unknown species carries enormous risks. Biological contamination. Unpredictable behaviors. Potential threats to human safety. By bringing this creature here, you may have endangered this entire station. The creature's name is Bomb, Yuna said firmly. And Bomb is not a threat. Bomb is a child who lost its mother. I have lived with Bomb for 3 months. Shared food, shared shelter, shared warmth. If there were any biological dangers, I would have shown symptoms by now. That is not certain, Mireille argued. Some alien pathogens have long incubation periods. Some threats are not immediately visible. Then test me, test Bomb, do whatever studies you need. But do not treat Bomb like a dangerous monster when the only thing Bomb ever did was trust me. Colonel Haniel spoke for the first time. His voice was flat. What you call trust might simply be learned behavior. Animals learn to rely on food sources. That is not the same as emotional connection. You may be putting human feelings onto a creature that does not actually have them. Yuna felt her anger rising again. I know what I saw. What I felt. Bomb understands things. Bomb feels things. When I was sad, Bomb comforted me. When I was hurt, Bomb brought me healing plants from the forest. When we said goodbye to Bomb's dead mother, Bomb cried. Real tears. Real grief. Interesting claims, Mireille said, writing something down, but without scientific evidence. A commotion at the back of the room interrupted her, shouting, running feet. The doors burst open. A small gray shape shot through the opening. Fast. So fast that no one could catch it. It ran between legs and under chairs and around obstacles. Heading straight for one person, Bomb leaped into Yuna's arms. The cub was shaking, trembling all over. But Bomb pressed against Yuna's chest and made sounds of pure relief. Small whimpering sounds that said, I found you. I found you. I found you. Yuna held Bomb tight. Tears ran down her face. She did not care that everyone was watching. She did not care about the tribunal, or the judges, or the punishment. Bomb was here. Bomb was safe. Guards rushed into the room. The creature escaped, one of them reported, breathing hard. It broke through 3 containment barriers. We do not know how. The locks were not damaged. It just opened them. Somehow. Impossible, Colonel Haniel said. Those locks require hand codes. I know, sir. But I watched it happen. The creature looked at the locks, and they just opened. The room was silent. Everyone stared at Bomb. The cub ignored them all. Bomb was too busy pressing tiny paws against Yuna's face, making small sounds, words that were not quite words, but somehow Yuna understood them anyway. Do not leave me again, please. Dr. Mireille stood up slowly. Her expression had changed. The scientific coldness was gone. Now she looked amazed. That should not be possible, she whispered. Unless. She walked around the judge's table and approached Yuna carefully. Bomb watched her with wary golden eyes but did not run. May I? Mireille asked, pointing to a small device on her belt. A scanner. Yuna hesitated. Then she nodded. Mireille scanned Bomb. Then she scanned Yuna. She looked at the readings on her device. Her eyes went wide. Admiral, she said. Her voice was strange, excited. You need to see this. The Admiral stood and came over. He looked at the scanner readings. His expression changed too. What is it? Yuna asked. Mireille turned to face the whole room. This creature is not just an animal. The brain activity levels are remarkable. They match or exceed human levels in several areas. And that is not all. She pointed at the scanner. Do you see these patterns? They are neural communication waves. This creature is broadcasting emotional signals. Complex signals. And Lieutenant Yuna is receiving them. Receiving them? Yuna repeated, confused. Yes. You have spent 3 months in close contact with this being. Your brain has formed a connection with it. A bond. When this creature feels something strongly, you can feel it too. That is how it found you. It was not tracking your smell or your heat signature. It was tracking your emotions. Your bond. The room was completely silent now. Admiral Junho looked at Bomb for a long moment. The cub looked back at him. Something passed between them. Understanding. Maybe. Or recognition. Doctor, the Admiral said slowly. Are you telling me that this creature is sentient? I am telling you that this creature may be more than sentient, Mireille replied. It may be something we have never encountered before. A species that communicates entirely through emotional bonds. A species that chooses its family not by blood, but by heart. Bomb made a sound. A clear sound. And somehow, everyone in the room understood it. The little creature was saying, She is my mother now. I chose her. Please do not take her away. Yuna held Bomb closer. Fresh tears fell from her eyes. The Admiral sat back down. He looked at his fellow judges. A silent conversation passed between them. Then he turned to face Yuna and the cub in her arms. Lieutenant Yuna, he said. It seems this tribunal must reach a new decision. For the first time since entering this room, Yuna felt something like hope. 5 years later, Yuna stood on a balcony looking out at the stars. She wore a new uniform now. Blue and silver instead of the old military gray. The badge on her chest said, Ambassador. Behind her, the door opened. She did not need to turn around to know who it was. She could feel Bomb approaching. The bond between them had grown stronger over the years. Now it was like a warm light in her mind that was always there. Always comforting. Bomb walked up beside her. The cub was not so little anymore. Bomb came up to her waist now, and had grown into graceful beauty. Silver fur that shimmered in starlight. Golden eyes that held depths of wisdom and love. Long ears that moved to catch every sound. Nervous? Bomb asked. Yes. Bomb could speak now. Not with voice, but with mind. The scientists had studied their bond and found a way to build devices that translated Bomb's emotional communication into words. Now, everyone could hear what Yuna had always felt. A little, Yuna admitted. Today is important. You have done this many times before. Bomb reminded her, but never with them. Bomb was quiet for a moment. Then the alien pressed against Yuna's side. A gesture of comfort that had not changed since they first met in that cave. They will love you, Bomb said. Everyone loves you. They do not all love me. Yuna laughed softly. Some people still think I should be in prison. Those people are wrong, and they are few now. This was true. In 5 years, everything had changed. After the tribunal ruled in her favor, Yuna had become famous. The woman who saved an alien child, the human who proved that compassion could cross species boundaries. Her story spread across human space. Some called her a hero, some called her a fool, but no one could ignore her. More importantly, the scientists had found others of Bomb's kind. A whole civilization, living deep in the forests of that moon. They had been hiding from Yuna the whole time, watching her, studying her. They had seen how she treated Bomb. They had waited to see if humans could be trusted. When Bomb spoke to them, the first conversation between humans and the bonded ones, as they came to be called, the message was simple. This human kept me alive. This human loved me when I had no one. This human can be trusted. That message opened doors that decades of exploration had failed to open. The bonded ones agreed to meet with humanity, to talk, to share knowledge, to possibly become allies, all because one woman chose kindness over protocol. Now, 5 years later, Yuna was about to meet the bonded council, the leaders of Bomb's people. This would be the most important diplomatic meeting in human history, and Yuna would lead it. Ambassador, a voice came from inside. The council is ready for you. Yuna took a deep breath. She looked at Bomb, her child, her family. The small, scared cub from the cave was now her partner in everything. Together? She asked. Always, Bomb replied. They walked into the meeting room together. It was a beautiful space, designed to honor both cultures. Trees grew inside, brought from the forest moon. Stars shone through a glass ceiling. The air smelled like purple flowers and human coffee mixed together. At the far end of the room, 5 bonded ones sat waiting. They were larger than Bomb, older, their fur marked with patterns that showed their age and wisdom. Their golden eyes watched Yuna approach. Yuna felt their emotions touching her mind. Curiosity, caution, and underneath it all, hope. They hoped this would work. They hoped humans were truly kind. She stopped in front of them and bowed her head in respect. Honored Council, she said. Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you for giving humanity this chance. The eldest council member stood. Her fur was white with age, her eyes pale gold. When she spoke, her words came through the translator as a gentle voice. You are the one who saved our child, she said. You had nothing to gain. You had much to lose. Yet you chose to love when love was not required. We wish to understand why. Yuna thought carefully before answering. When I found Bomb in that cave, I did not think about rules or consequences. I only thought about a baby who was alone and afraid. I know what that feels like. I was alone once too. Someone helped me when they did not have to. I lived because of their kindness. I helped Bomb because that kindness taught me something important. What did it teach you? That we are not truly alive until we care for something beyond ourselves. That the strongest thing in the universe is not weapons or technology or power. It is love. It is the choice to help another when helping is hard. The council members looked at each other. Silent communication passed between them. Then the eldest turned back to Yuna. Your people have done terrible things, she said. We have watched you for centuries. We have seen your wars, your cruelty, your destruction. We have been afraid of you. Yuna nodded. We have done terrible things. I will not deny this. Humans are capable of great evil, but we are also capable of great good. We are learning, growing, trying to be better. Words are easy, another council member said. How do we know your actions will match them? Bomb stepped forward. Yuna felt her child's determination through their bond. I know, Bomb said. I have lived with humans for 5 years. I have seen them at their best and their worst. And I tell you, the best is worth believing in. Yuna is proof. Commander Tejo, who broke rules to help us, is proof. The young soldier who cried for a strange alien is proof. There are millions more like them. humans who choose kindness when it would be easier to choose fear. The eldest council member studied Bomb for a long time. Then, slowly, she smiled. "You have grown, little one. You have grown wise." "I had a good mother," Bomb replied. Yuna felt her eyes fill with tears. Even after 5 years, those words still touched her heart. The council member turned to Yuna again. "We will try this alliance. We will trust your kind, because you taught one of our children to trust. But know this. If humanity breaks our trust, the consequences will be severe." "And I understand," Yuna said. "And I promise you, I will spend my life making sure that trust is never broken." Unquote. I will spend my life making sure that trust is never broken. The meeting continued for hours after that. Details were discussed. Agreements were made. The foundation of a new friendship between species was laid. Brick by careful brick. But the moment Yuna would remember forever came at the very end. As they were leaving, the eldest council member approached her privately. The old alien looked at Yuna with those ancient eyes that had seen so much. "You lost your mother when you were young," she said. It was not a question. She had felt it through the bonds. "Yes," Yuna whispered, "and so you became a mother yourself. To one who was not your blood, not even your species." The council member reached out and touched Yuna's hand. Her fur was soft, like clouds. "This is the greatest thing any being can do. To turn pain into love. To choose family when family was not given." She pressed something into Yuna's palm. A small stone, smooth and warm, that glowed with inner light. "This is a memory stone. We give them to those we consider true family. You have earned one. Not as an ambassador. Not as a diplomat. As a mother. As one of us." Yuna held the stone close to her heart. She could not speak. The tears fell freely now. Bomb came up beside her and took her other hand. Later, they stood together on that balcony again. The meeting was over. The future was beginning. Below them, humans and bonded ones were already starting to mingle. To talk. To learn about each other. "Mother," Bomb said softly. Yuna looked at her child. Her beautiful, wonderful child that the universe had given her in a dark cave on a lonely moon. "Yes, Bomb? Thank you for not leaving me." Yuna pulled Bomb into a hug. She held her child tight, just as she had on that first night. Two souls that found each other in darkness. Two hearts that chose to beat together. "Thank you for finding me," she whispered. "Thank you for giving me a reason to live." Above them, the stars shone eternal. Around them, a new chapter of history was being written, but in that moment, there was only this. A mother and child, holding each other, loving each other, forever. This is what humanity is at its best. Not our ships, not our weapons, not our endless reach into the void. Our hearts. Our stubborn, beautiful, unbreakable hearts. That is the human story. And it was only beginning.